G'day, Aussie Bonsai bloke here.
Good day. How you going? Guys, look at this. New PC. Seth has semi-claimed it, haven't you?
Yeah?
Okay, so I've not even had a look in on my PC because Seth has got a game. But look at it. So Dong's come through with the goods. PC's made. Performing beautifully. You can have a look at all these fans and lights and stuff going in here.
Oops, the police flipped. See?
And the T-Force RAM.
Look, it flipped.
Yeah.
They flipped their van.
And pretty cool. So a bit of an upgrade from the old laptop over there. And I'll just turn on the light a bit so that we can see a bit better. But anyway, new computer is going to make life a lot easier and faster.
For editing your videos.
True, mate. True.
And this time it won't take 2 days for you to do one video.
No.
It takes you a day to do your stuff for it, and then another day for it to upload.
Crazy, huh?
Yes. That thing's incredibly slow.
The old
Show
laptop.
them the game.
Okay, there's the game. But anyway, we'll just show on the computer. Look at this RGB lights, guys. Look at the mouse. Pretty sweet. Pretty sexy. Look at this in here. In there. Fans working. Fan on the top. Another fan on the front. Plus all the other fans inside working away.
The people might be a Karen and say you didn't show the game enough.
Well, I don't think we're here for the game. We're here to look at my new computer, mate.
Doubt it.
And to Dong's utter dismay, I requested I had to have a C port, which I now do. And I actually got two because the motherboard's got one back here too. So, loving it. Two C ports.
That's the police.
Look inside. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
We're the police.
Okay, that's enough of the computer. So now for a tour of the rest of the bottom of the block, the natural, which will become natural area where no sheep, no animals will be. So let's get down to the bottom of the block. Cheers, guys. What do you reckon, Seth? Good?
Yeah.
Loving it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Pretty cool. And he's even got a gaming controller now.
Got it today.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty sweet. Pretty lucky. So he's using that more than me. And here's my poor old computer. The Lenovo shitbox. Lenovo shitbox.
You can get in trouble for saying that.
Can you?
Yes.
It's had a lot of use though. Look at this. Black mark in the middle.
If you say bad things about a product, you can actually get in trouble.
Well, you know what? For the price, I guess. No, actually, even for the price. $850? $1,500. $1,500. Dong built it. Beautiful. That one, nearly $1,000. And it does probably a fifth the speed. You wouldn't even be able to play a game on that one. It wouldn't keep up.
Yeah, I know, no way.
No. Okay, anyway, out to the paddock. Still walking along. You can see the gimbal in my hand there. Walking over the hill looking for the sheep. So far, some fresh signs. Just following the fresh signs. There's another box on. Bit windy. And like I say, with the gimbal I can't use the mic, so that's a bit annoying. So you will get some wind noise, guys. But, where are the sheep? It'll give you guys a bit of a tour out here actually, so I'll keep it running for a little bit. You can see we've got these native silver mulgas growing everywhere, which is pretty cool. So they're repopulating and fixing up the environment. But I'm going to also plant some other trees in here. So anyway, let's keep looking for these sheep. There's all sorts going on here. All sorts. tripped on a rock and a stick. Yeah, sheepies. Yeah, sheepies. I'm hoping, because I do try to hand feed them every now and then, they'll literally follow me across the block and out the gate. I'm hopeful, but will it happen in theory? Probably not. The fact that I'm filming will make it even more difficult, I'm sure. I am sure of that. So anyway, yeah, this is the back of the block. Well, we're not hit the back yet, but we're getting there. Basically, beautiful. I love it. Okay, but it is fairly barren of big trees. You got these little silver mulgas starting to repopulate, which is really awesome. But I want to plant some big trees in through here as well, which is going to be super awesome. Regeneration's been slow here apart from the silver mulgas because the sheep don't really eat them, and the sheep are eating all the other trees that try and grow, like the oaks, native oaks. So this is a native oak here. You can see that. It's a native oak. They do get a lot bigger than that, but this small one. Every year a lot of our oaks die, like that one there in the summer, and the one next to it I believe is dead too, and then the third one behind it is dead. So a lot of them die in the summer. We've had so many dry summers in a row that the trees are stressed out and dying, but there is hope. Some of them are still alive, but generally they regenerate, and they actually grow quite quick when they do regenerate. But because the sheep have been on here for so many years, there's no real new young ones. Oh, big gust of wind coming, sorry guys. So, yeah, basically, so we do get a bit of rubbish blowing around every now and then. I'll have to pick it up later. We also get a few prickly paper barks because they can handle, or prickly acacia, because they can handle the I think it's a prickly acacia. They can handle the sheep because the sheep don't like grazing on them too much. They do give them a go, don't get me wrong. Sheep give them a bit of a go, but in general, they survive okay. What else am I looking for out here? Just keep walking. So it's just become a bit of a tour of the back property. So I hope you guys don't get too annoyed, but we're going for a walk. So here's bit of a termite mound, okay, and I've pretty much gone astray, not even worried about where the sheep are right now, although my hand holding the food is getting a bit sore. What I was looking for is, there is a native oak somewhere around here. See, I don't even go here very often because I got the sheep here. I don't want the dogs to follow me, and because of that I don't go down this bottom block very often, but I've got the wife looking after the dogs inside so that I was able to come down the block. So one cool thing about getting rid of the sheep for now will be, me and the kids will be able to walk down here or ride our motorbikes down here rather than around the little track, and we'll be able to exercise the dogs around the big track now. So we'll be able to go around the big track. This is what I was looking for. So you can see all them silver mulgas there everywhere, a big line of them. They seed prolifically, big word for Sammy. They seed by the thousands, and they actually really do help to repopulate the landscape pretty well. Here's another dead oak. You can see how many of them die. Another dead one here. Okay, I thought maybe it was the bushfires that went through here 8-9 years ago. Okay, that one there's alive just at the top. One behind it's dead, one behind that's dead. But I worked out it's actually the dry summers. So anyway, what I was going to show you guys, look at this. A tree that had fallen down, right? So this is an oak, native Australian oak, had fallen down. And the canopy of the tree protected the seedling that came up underneath. So the baby from this tree is now growing up above where the sheep can get it, because it was protected by the fallen tree from the sheep. So that's pretty cool. So I've kept a good eye on it and just looking out for it. And not only that, there's another one here. Look at this. Okay, wow, pretty cool to see. So I'm hoping by getting rid of the sheep for a few years, not only me planting, but natural revegetation, because the seedlings won't be eaten. All the oak seeds will drop and hopefully grow on a wet year. I think you have to wait for a wet year, not sure. Hopefully that'll cause more regrowth and I won't have to plant up so much. Some of it will happen naturally. We've also got a few other plants around the place. Got this thing here. Don't even ask me what it is, I don't know. I guess these little berries on it. Well, not berries, seed pods. That thing seems to grow okay, but the sheep eat that because it's not prickly. Okay. Just looking for these sheepy peeps. So you can see over time I've collected some firewood. Okay, off the dead bits of trees. But in general, if there's a hollow, I try to leave it for the birds. My God, I'm going to swap hands. Whew. My hand is getting very sore. Still looking for these sheepy peeps. Look at try and lift you guys up in there. Look at all those silver mulgars. Pretty good to see something covering the ground, I tell you. I might as well take you around the whole property now that we're going around it. So this has become a bit of a property tour. So here we've got our only flat patch without rock on the whole property. So this is where I taught my son to ride his motorbike and my daughter, because it was nice and flat as far as you can see that way. A good 200 to 300 meters of flat, at least 200, maybe 300, because it also goes back down to that far corner. So that post down there is our corner of our property. We own those trees. They'll not own them, we're custodians, I should say. You can never own a tree. We're just caretakers. Caretakers of the land for the next, hopefully to improve the land, I was going to say for the next person that comes along, but in general, the next person that comes along out here is probably going to just cut stuff down for firewood. It is a bit of a worry for me, doing all this work and growing everything. I can only do what I can do, but the bit of a worry for me is that when I die and we have to move out of this place, whatever, so there's a corner, that the next person's not going to respect the environment. Look at that, ready? So you can see there's a big long straight bit, probably close to 300 meters long. There's a hill with a heap of silver mulgars and some oaks and other stuff, some whatever they are. I don't know what they are. Socialist mallees, I think. There's also a bushy sugar up there. It looks like someone had a go at planting something here. I'm not sure whether years and years ago there was a little shack house down here, so they planted around the house. But it is quite strange that down here there's probably some trees that were planted 20 to 30 years ago. Not native to the area, but all the same growing well. So that's pretty cool. We get a lot of this native tough grass as well. I don't know whether you call it spinifex or what you call it, but we get a lot of that too. But yeah, it's beautiful to see trees like this, and this is what I want the whole property to look like. These trees here. So I'm pretty much doing a boundary walk now. So there's the neighbour's sheep running around there on the horizon. Trying to get used to this gimbal. There's another beautiful old tree with the sun behind it. Probably a bushy sugar, but to be honest, I got no idea. You know, we have that many different trees in Australia. If you can work out what they are, you're doing well. Doing really well. So here's a dead one, big beautiful dead one. So I could cut this for firewood, right? I definitely could, but I don't because, wow, look at it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I could cut that for firewood, but the reason I don't is, if I can zoom in, okay, check out those hollows and stuff in it. So a lot of birds and stuff live in those hollows. Hollows there, and if I come along to the next trunk and go up, and out there, you'll also see a hollow there. And birds live in there and nest in there. And if you've got a bird living and nesting in your tree, you should leave it. Oh man, the wind noise is shocking, sorry guys. If you got birds, hollows in your trees for birds nesting, you should not cut them down. Definitely not. That's my motto, and I just cut down freshly dead stuff. Okay, so the bird population in this corner is a lot better. We have a few different types of birds here. Honey eaters and rosellas and I don't know, horse-filled bush larks, lots of different things. The white-fronted chat, pretty cool little bird. Had the crimson chat here as well. For anyone that knows birds, crimson chat around the Monado area is actually pretty rare. That came down. They're normally up further north in South Australia, but they came down for a visit a couple of years ago. But you can see this really is turning into a tour, isn't it? Where are the sheep? Who knows? I'm not even looking for them. This has become a tour. So this is a new young one. My guess is this somehow survived the sheep for a few years, got taller and taller, and it's finally made it above the sheep. It's even got its own little gum nuts now. Pretty cool. And new flowers for this year too are coming, new buds. So yeah, that's super cool to see a new young tree. Another oak there. I'll take you down to the oldest vegetation on the property. I might just pause it for a second because the wind is getting bad and you guys don't want to hear that. I know I said I'd unpause it, but I found the sheep and we're near the trees, so I'll show you both at once. Okay, the wind is just really bad, but I'm going to hide behind these trees. Okay, so here we got a lot of wabbit warrens. Yeah, a lot of rabbit warrens, if I can say it properly. Here's where I collect dirt from with a tractor. It's the only bit of dirt on the whole property, a bit of sand. The rest of it's clay. So if I did plant some trees here, they would grow quick, but I don't want to plant trees across here because it's a great place to collect sand, and this is a bushwalker area. So there's the bushwalkers. Right, and here are the sheepy peeps and the trees. Look at the trees. Look at that, beautiful trees. I'll take you in there. into this old growth, pretty old growth. How you going, guys? And then look up here, guys. So bushwalkers do come past. This could be a rabbit, little rabbit's head. Look at that, beautiful. And this is the oldest tree on the property. Most of it's part of the one tree, it just sort of sprawls out. I have shown it before in a previous video, but okay, there's a tree up there, beautiful. I think these are socialist mallees. Okay, rabbit warren there. The rabbits are actually getting mixy now and dying, so it's sort of a good thing. Sad, but a good thing, because you know, we did get overpopulated there for a while. But look at this tree. So this same tree, the original trunk has rotted out completely. The rest of the tree has grown from shoots to the side, and then it's just sort of bowed out, touched the ground, and just sort of kept sprawling out. Big boxhorn back there, but like I say, the trees, the birds love it. So for now I'm going to leave it. And you can see this one here. This is still part of the same tree. It goes all the way out to the edge over there, with all this beautiful cover and canopy and protection from the wind and the storms, and all the way out to over there. Not overly tall, probably only maximum 8 meters. Also we get native apricot here. We call it the native apricot. It has a really white flaky bark on the native apricot. I hope I didn't tell those people a bit of a lie about the lime, because I was just guessing, but I think it was for the lime. There's a lot of lime smelters, or whatever you call it back then. Not smelters, but... Right, here's a sheep. Guys, hello! 1, 2, I've got to collect 13 sheep. So I've got to make sure that's 13. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There is 13. One of them's on its side. I hope it's alright. Otherwise I have to tell the neighbour one of them's dead. No, he's sleeping. He was sleeping. Hey guys. Hello. I'll give him a little bit of food just to get him going. Hello. A little bit of food. Hello, hello. This one here with the black dot on its leg is pretty friendly. Just get them some food, just to get them excited. So I'm going to miss these guys, I really am. I don't know if it'll hand feed, but it might. Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah. Okay, so some of the original ones used to hand feed, but we got rid of the older ones and changed them over to some younger ones. I probably don't feed them enough by hand. It's probably the reason they don't really want to hand feed too much, but they're doing okay. Hey guys, I'm going to miss you guys, I really am. Okay, now you're getting friendly. Now you're getting friendly, aren't you? You gonna hand feed? Now you're getting friendly. That's what we like to see. I will miss you guys, hey? We'll get some new guys like you later on. Give you a bit of a pat. Hey? We'll miss you. Beautiful guys, aren't you, hey? Better save some for the others, guys. Guys, come on. Well done. Follow me. Follow me. Come on, guys. You can get them to follow you rather than just herd them up with a dog. Pretty good for the sheep. A lot of stress they don't have to go through.